In today's project spotlight, I'm going to be talking about my Peaches and Cream Bento Box Quilt. What I made, how I made it, and what I learned. Welcome to Epida Studio. My name is Elizabeth and I help you make beautiful things with quilting, pajagi, and embroidery. So this quilt, the Peaches and Cream Bento Box Quilt, is a quilt that I made many years ago, and you can see that it's been used, washed and dried a lot. It's all like crinkly, the way that quilts do when they get washed. And today I'm going to tell you the story about this quilt. It's not a difficult, complicated quilt. It's actually pretty simple, but it has an interesting story, and I learned an important lesson when I made it. So this quilt is only one block, and that is the Bento Box block, which you can see right here. And it's just 5 blocks by 7 blocks, and the blocks are 12 inches. So that means that the quilt is 60 inches by 84 inches. So it's a nice quilt for a twin size bed. And I use 3 different fabrics for this quilt. I use this white fabric, the solid, and then this print, which is like a peach and white kind of print, and then I use this solid peach print. And so each block has only 2 fabrics, so all the blocks have this print fabric, and some are print in white and some are print in peach. And so because of the color, that's what gives it the name Peaches and Cream. This quilt also has a flannel back, which is in this kind of darker peach color. And then I did the binding in a color that matches the back of the quilt. And so it's like this dark peach binding. So how I made this quilt, it does have an interesting story, and it goes way back to 2009. And in the beginning of 2009, I bought this fabric. But when I bought the fabric, originally I was intending to use it for some summer clothes for my 2 daughters. And so I was in the store and it was on sale, and I thought, oh, this would make some cute summer clothes or maybe an Easter dress. And so I picked up the fabric, and at home I had little dress patterns that I could use with that. But then shortly after I bought the fabric was when we decided, oh, we're gonna move our family halfway around the world and go to Korea. And from the time that we agreed and signed the papers to go, to the time that we were on an airplane was under 2 months. And so you can imagine, or if you've ever done a big international move like that, that is a lot of stuff to organize and to do in that 2 months. We had not only like paperwork and visas and stuff like that, we had to pack up our house and decide what we're going to take, all that stuff. So that was a bit of a chaotic time. But I had this fabric and I thought, I can take this fabric with me. There's no reason that I can't still use this to make summer clothes for my daughters. So the fabric was packed into my, whatever, like 2 suitcases that I could take, and took it over. Then when we got to Korea and we started unpacking things, I realized I had brought the fabric, but I didn't have any patterns for clothing. I hadn't brought that. And this was in the very, very early days of digital online patterns that you could download. And so I was able to find digital download patterns for baby clothes, because those pieces are small and they can fit on 1 or 2 pieces of paper. But I wasn't able at that time to find something that would be a pattern for my older daughter, who was 10, turning 11 at that time. And so, so the fabric sat there and I didn't make any clothes with it. And it sat there and it sat there. And then in 2011, then that was the year I decided that year I was going to make a quilt for each one of my children. And so I had different patterns and different designs. And so this fabric and colorway, I thought this would make a really nice quilt for my oldest daughter. And so at the early 2011, we were still in Korea at that time. And I thought bento box was a pretty simple block, but I liked the block, and so I thought that would work well with these fabrics. And so I took the fabric and I cut all the 2.5 inch strips that you would need for this block. And then my sewing machine died. And at that time, it was early 2011. I knew that we were going to be moving back to Canada like within the next few months. And so it wasn't really worth investing to fix my sewing machine at that time, because we were just going to be coming back. And my sewing machine wasn't something I was going to bring back with me. It was built for the Korean electrical system. I had bought a machine there, and so I knew I was going to be abandoning it. So I didn't bother to get it fixed. And so now I had all these strips of fabric. So now the strips of fabric I brought back to Canada with me. And so this fabric has traveled internationally without really having anything done to it besides being cut into 2.5 inch strips. But then when we got back to Canada, finally I was able to use it and make these blocks and make it into this quilt. And so I made the quilt. The blocks are just a standard 12 inch bento box block. If you want to know how to make this block, I do have a tutorial for it. So you can click the link below. It'll take you step by step through how to make a bento box block. So to quilt it, I quilted just with straight lines and a walking foot on my sewing machine. And it's a lot of straight lines. These lines are maybe 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches at the most apart. So it's a lot of straight line quilting. And you can maybe see it a bit easier at the back. Some of these lines are just single lines of quilting and some are double lines of quilting. And so it was a lot of quilting, but I enjoyed doing that, and I really like the crinkly look that it gets after being washed. And so this quilt is really squishy and cuddly. It's held up well. Now, if you compare this to the other quilts that I made that year for my kids, this quilt does really kind of reflect my oldest daughter's personality. It's more calm, it's more subdued, it's kind of in the background, and that is her personality compared to some of my other kids. But I did learn a really important lesson in this quilt. So when we see this quilt, the whole quilt laid out, we can see that I did a design kind of using the blocks that have the white fabric in them and the blocks that have the cream fabric in them. So there is an overall design layout. I didn't just put them randomly, and they're not just alternating. You can see what it is. But when I was laying out the fabric and when I was picking it, I thought that this peach fabric, I thought it would be more of a dark fabric. So I was thinking the white fabric would be light and the print would be medium and the peach would be dark. But you can see when you look at it, it's not actually dark. It's actually also a medium. And so there's not a lot of contrast between this solid fabric and the print fabric. And so, it's okay, it's just more of a low volume block because there's not a lot of contrast. So if I had been choosing fabric specifically for this quilt, I probably would have got something a bit darker just to have a bit more contrast in the block. But I used what I had. When I got the fabric, I was not intending to make a quilt with it. And so there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a bad quilt, but it was a really good lesson to learn about contrast. Also, if I'd have checked the fabric a bit more closely and realized that there was not as much contrast, I might have chosen a different block. I don't know. I might have chosen something that didn't rely on that contrast. So that was a really good lesson to learn, to maybe not assume about contrast. I don't know at that time what I would have done to check the contrast. Now that I have a smartphone and a camera, I know what I would do. I would take a picture and turn it to black and white, and then you can see the contrast. So I do have another video about how to use your phone camera in quilting. That's what I would do now. I'm not sure what I would have done at that time. I certainly didn't have any special tools in Korea with me that would have helped me check the contrast, but I would have paid more attention to that. So overall, I'm really happy with this quilt. So I did make it, that was 2011, so like 14 years ago, and it's still well used and loved. So in that way, it's definitely been a success, even though it was also a learning experience. If you want to see more of my projects that I made, how I made them, and what I learned, you can check out my project spotlight playlist. And for quilting tutorials, patterns, and inspiration, you can check out my website, epidastudio.com.